So, hello everyone. I have Riru right here. Riru, you can introduce yourself.
Hello. I didn't prepare an introduction, so I'm Riru. Um, I'm known for debating, and that's kind of it. I'm 20. I'm 20. So don't call me an unk, bitches.
Oh, well, I think you're Unk status. Can't lie to you, Chief. Um, but there's a new few faces around here. So with my style of interviews, I go through the past, present, and future. So Riru, I'm gonna give you a question that I basically ask everybody. So what was like your first anime?
I think my first anime was Tokyo Ghoul, if I remember. I was introduced to anime by my classmate in elementary school, and he just told me to watch Tokyo Ghoul because it was really good. So I watched Tokyo Ghoul, and that's like my first anime.
It got you introduced to anime, and then uh from what we spoke about a little bit, was SED was your introduction, or was it more philosophy debates that was your introduction to debating?
It was SCD debate.
ACD.
Like, first of all, yeah. I mean, I didn't really even consider myself a debater when I started off in this community. I was just chilling in KK server like every incel. So for like 4 months, and then I just like gradually started to become more of a debating type ish person in the community.
So what got you into SCD? Was it just KK himself, like his edits?
It was Acid Ninja.
SC
That's
Ninja?
like that's like the first person that I've started to watch.
And with SSC, you were got introduced to SCD, and you joined KK server. So what was like how you were there? You said that you were like an incel, right? But like how
Yeah.
was like Riru then? You know?
How was I like back then?
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I was just making random takes without like understanding what SED even is about, really. I remember that was the last and probably the only time I scaled Yuji above Takuya. And then Sento came rushing into my DMs. And that's like when I started to, be more of a part of the link or of the like center of the community. I was basically raised by Centaur, as weird as that sounds in SCD.
Mm-hmm. And is this where you started like going into like more scaling types? Or not like types, but like you started going more into scaling and then wanting to pursue debating? Or how did that start?
People just asked me to debate really, and I was kind of hesitant to debate. I thought it would be like more like I would be like pressured more in a debate, and I thought that people here are actually good at debating, and it turns out they are really not. And when I started to debate, I went like 8-0 at first, and I didn't even really know much about SED at the time. I just I just fought critically, and I just went like undefeated for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I like my interest like grew in debating because I like winning. I'm a competitive person, so
So that competitiveness allowed you to grow inside of debating, right? And back then, because when did you join SED? Like 2023, like early, late,
I think late 2022, like
late 2022.
maybe November, December. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't really remember to be honest though.
Yeah. So that allowed you to transition to maybe like your early stages of 2023, right? Where
Hmm.
you maybe started to push out your debating skills further. Um,
It was like in summer 2023.
Summer.
That's like when I started to debate. Yeah, probably around that time.
So Riru, what would you say that when your introduction to debating, when you started debating, right? What do you think was like some of the most notable stuff that you would say that you kind of learned from debating?
When I started to debate,
Mm-hmm.
um, To be honest, I don't think there's much. I just improvised when I'm in a debate. I mean, I do that even right now. Like when I debate SED, I don't like research my shit. I don't like go and research emotional intelligence on some like and read some articles about it. I just really think critically. That's all there is there about it. The only thing I'm learning is philosophy, like actively learning.
Mm-hmm.
But in SED, I just get by. I don't feel like I need to learn when the community is on this level of debating. Like it doesn't really interest me to learn more about it.
But you did get into philosophy debating. When did that happen?
It's pretty recent,
Pretty recent,
um, mm, like maybe early 2024, maybe.
early
That's like when
2024.
I started to doing philosophy. But when I started to doing philosophy actually like seriously and not just watch like Alex O'Connor, that's like probably October, like 2 months ago to be honest. So like when I started actually taking it seriously.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you started getting introduced to philosophy. Why did philosophy catch your eye though?
I think it's a really abstract. Mm, I don't want to call it science. It's basically a study of inquiry or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's like really abstract, and I do always enjoy kind of abstract things. That's why I also join SCD over power scaling because I think power scaling is more concrete. SCD is more abstract. Uh, you can argue more broadly speaking, in SCD. And the same case is for philosophy. It doesn't really have like too much imposed restrictions on it.
Okay. So you kind of like that abstract, so that's why you got into SED originally. I kind of find it interesting as well,
Yeah, yeah.
where it's not like just a number beats a bigger or a number loses to a bigger number. It's a lot more detailed when searching for what you think a character is smarter, right? And so obviously smart characters, right? You got into Danganronpa, and when did that happen?
I got into Danganronpa before SED. I
Oh,
watched
really?
old. Oh yeah, I played old games. I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoyed it. And when I first started off, like being active on Discord, my name was actually Kokichi Oma, or no, it was Nagito first, and
Mm-hmm.
then I renamed myself to Kokichi. And just people started like calling me Kokichi and stuff before I renamed myself to this. And that's actually probably also the only reason I made a Kokichi dog to like represent my name as well. Technically. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I never renamed myself to Kokichi, I think I would probably be Nagito Scaler, which is pretty funny. It's just a matter of coincidence that I started scaling Kokichi instead of Nagito.
Yeah. Uh, and then you're fairly known for being a Nagi or not Nagito, Kokichi scaler, even having Kokichi above Akiyama, right? And
Yeah.
is it just because of your interest in Kokichi that you kind of wanted to scale him, or is there like another reason why like there was a profound interest in Kokichi as a whole?
There was no profound interest. I just started scaling him because my name was Kokichi. That's all there is to it.
Is that just all?
Yeah, that's all. Like it was just a matter of coincidence.
Okay, that's lucky kind of funny. Um, Going back to one of the previous points, right? So you got into debating. Was there ever a point where like you lost a debate and it kind of like hit you hard? Especially since you say that you're a very competitive person. Was there ever a loss that like really dragged you down?
Uh, no, I don't think so. Part of the reason why is because when I lose a debate, I usually do it against a better debater than me. Like, C annoys him.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had to like say a debate that hit me the most is when I lost against Rin, which I consider to be a worse debater than me. But I lost against Rin when I like started off as a debater as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I still consider him worse than me. And I lost it on a technicality. I basically used I think we debated strategy. No, we debated planning, I think. And I used the feat that is more of a strategy than planning, so it was a confusion of terms.
Okay. And you didn't take these seriously. And hold on, I'm trying to bring up my points. So you use this. You grow from your debates, right? And then you became I guess a host debater in PX, right? I know a lot of people here want to like hear me talk about one main topic, but I'm not gonna bring it up until later. But
What a main topic.
I feel like everyone knows what I'm talking about. But
I don't know.
oh, you're you're gonna figure it out real soon. It's not gonna be hard to figure out. But
Okay.
so yeah, you grow from your debates, and this is probably around recently, probably a few months ago, just off of the top of my head. You Sahez started posting out his how to SED, right? And this
Yeah.
is kind of how you came up with your idea about the how to SED as well.
hmm I mean, I came up with the idea because Sajay is like barely making these educational videos, so I just figured I could like do a weekly upload. But I'm just so lazy, so like I didn't make another like how to SED video for like a month right now. But
So yeah, the
yeah,
first one
that's
was like 2 months ago, and it was the scaling systems. So
yeah.
why do you think that you started off with that one?
Uh, because I think there's a delusion in the community where everybody thinks that they need to use a specific scaling system to scale anything really. And I don't think that's the case. I mentioned that in the video because I think that every scaling system is ultimately reducible to logic. And if it is ultimately reducible to logic, we can argue on the grounds of logic, which means that some scaling systems are just more logical than others. And that's like all that it boils down to really. Like there's no need to label it as a scaling system.
Hmm. And then we go on to the next one, which is street. Hold on, I got this.
Straight epistemology.
Yeah, and addressing concerns,
Yeah.
right? So
Uh-huh.
why is that the next part?
Um well, all the four parts in general, it's like a cluster that
Hmm.
it should be like a precursor to actual SED, which I had planned like to do later, but I started to get lazy as fuck. But it's like a precursor of SED. It's more about general SED knowledge, general how to debate appropriately kind of thing.
Hmm.
And I chose straight epistemology because I don't want this community to turn into power scaling 2.0, where everybody's loud micing at each other in VC. So I took that route to kind of address more mm, mild approach to debating.
Okay. And then we go to process versus results. This is more in
Yeah.
terms with debating, right? So, want to talk
Uh,
about that a little bit?
m- it's more in terms of SED. I mean,
Okay.
that's the question, right? I mean, process versus results. I think that's like the whole issue between like the so-called normal scaling and the so-called proven ability scaling, right? That's like the main issue between these two scalings, where normal scaling apparently like mm, you know prefers like results over process, and the proven ability is supposed to like prefer process over results. I don't think that's really accurate as a description, but like that's the general consensus. Like, not really a consensus to be even honest. It's just something that a lot of people say. And yeah, I just wanted to introduce it because I think it's a core issue in SED as well. Um, I think everything in SED really is relative. You need to look at it from an individualistic perspective,
Hmm.
and you evaluate like everything relatively to something else as well. Like you cannot really even have a specific metric system. There's another issue with scaling systems. You cannot say this is a rule, this is a rule, this is a rule, because these rules don't apply universally. And to SED, I don't think anything applies universally, like besides logic. Like nothing applies universally to SCD. I feel like so.
Okay. And then part four is debating format slash VC debating. So first, let's talk
Yeah,
about the
I
debating
wanted to
formats.
basically encourage.
Uh, what would you say a
Mhm.
standard debate format looks like? Right.
Well, I take debating format to just be written or spoken. You know,
Okay.
just the basic distinction based like from text debating and VC debating. That's really all there is to it. I basically created the video to introduce a VC debating to the community more because I think it's instrumental for SCD to grow and adopt VC debating at some point. Not like universally. I still think it would be like a really slow transition, but I think if people in SCD want to actually get good, they should start VC debating and not text debating because I don't think text debating helps you because then you hope in VC and you start talking like mad shit. You start stuttering like every second word like Ace with two C's, two C's. Okay,
Okay. Not eights with
it
one
just
C, with
becomes
two.
horrible. Yeah, Ace with two C's.
And which
What?
one would you say is better? Just I think you kind of like pointed it out, but like not in a specific way. But would you say VC debating is just better than text debating, just flat out?
Yeah, I think it's better than text debating in general. I think it actually showcases a skill of a debater way, way, way more than text debating. That's first of all. And I think a lot of people get bored over text debating because they need to write walls of text every message, and it just becomes tiring. Debating becomes like a chore. But when you do VC debate, you can more so like have it done in like 30 minutes, which is really conventional as well,
Okay, and
convenient.
but what about people who aren't really like outspoken but are better with like their fingers, just typing it out?
They can always do a VC to text debate when one person is just speaking in VC and the other is responding in text, because it forces you to be more concise and forces you to like make an argument in three sentences at best. You know,
Hmm.
because you cannot be typing a whole ass paragraph for about an hour in VC. Like that's not how it works. So I think that works.
And would you obviously there's a debate tournament here, and that's profound to text debating. Um, would you have preferred it to be a VC debate otherwise?
Mhm. Well, what do you mean by that? Like,
So instead of it, because it's currently a text debate, would you rather prefer it being a VC debate?
what exactly? Which debate are we talking about?
The Nagito versus Kokichi, and I think it's
Uh,
EE.
yeah. I wouldn't mind if it was a VC debate, but we started like doing it in text, and
It would be
if we
off.
had to take it to VC, we would need to like restart the entire debate. So,
Okay. And I'll just start talking about the main topic, which is currently like what's currently happening, what's kind of in the past, uh, but the entire Lila situation, right? Would you say
yeah,
first of all, how do you feel about it?
about the Layla situation,
Yeah.
I think he's a little dumb. And I use him for my YouTube content because my YouTube has been dead. That's all there is to it.
There's all there is to it. So he
Hmm.
obviously made a video talking um about illogical fallacies, which I personally don't. I think it's just an oxymoron for something
Wait,
like that
wait,
to
wait, wait,
exist.
wait, 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 wait. You said I made the video, but Lila made the video, and I
My
responded
bad,
to it.
my bad.
It's not.
Lila made a
It's
video
not
about
perfectly.
illogical fallacies,
Yeah.
and I personally think it's just an oxymoron. But you made a video and debunking the what was said in the video, right? Talking
Mhm.
about how it breaks. I think you said it was two laws of logic.
Mhm. I mean, it really just breaks one law of logic, but in general, what he was saying in the video, he somehow managed to break two, which yeah, somehow he just managed to do that, even though I think he just breaks one. So
So the concept itself just breaks one, but the video itself
yeah.
just breaks two.
Hmm.
So you want to kind of like
It viol. Mhm.
I was just gonna say you want to kind of like want to point out like where, or not like in specific like timestamps, but like just off of the top of your head, like what are the two laws that he broke, just for the audience right now?
Law of excluded middle and law of non-contradiction. I think law of non-contradiction is broken universally when we talk about something like illogical logic or illogical fallacies.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's basically in the term A and not A, right? So
Yeah.
A is the case and A is not the case simultaneously. That's logically incoherent.
Yeah. My bad. I'm reading the chat right now. Um,
Hmm.
Obviously he brings up another terminology at the end of the video about manipulative reasoning. Do you, first of all, do you think manipulative reasoning is a thing? And if so,
No,
what do you consider it? Okay, no. That's the answers for you. Manipulative reasoning is just not a thing.
yeah, it's not a thing because I mean I can explain it if you want to.
Yeah,
Like
go for it.
I think if I okay okay. Well, reasoning pertains to actually forming a reason for a belief, right? We look at the structure of reasoning, like the logical form of it. So it can take in like it can be a deductive argument, inductive argument, abductive argument. These are the only three forms of a these are the only three forms of a structure of a particular reasoning that any reasoning feed has to be in, right? So he can introduce something like manipulative reasoning, but it, like it would still be one of these three. It would either be deductive, inductive, or abductive. And he labels it manipulative because it like what did he say? Like it enforces a belief within somebody, right? You are basically convincing somebody to think something, right? Which is why he thinks it's manipulative reasoning. But it just boils down to probably an abduction based on the description. I think that's what it would be labeled as.
So what he said was that it was just someone imposing something for someone else to counteract. Isn't that just like some sort of like trap setting rather than just like manipulative reasoning?
No, not really.
No.
I think we can just say it's a manipulation, and every
Yeah.
manipulation requires you to reason, right? You need to make premises, you need to derive a conclusion because you need to pinpoint a specific mental state of a particular character to actually know which effects will be efficient, which effects will not work, and by that metric, like choose how you want to manipulate that specific person you are talking to. So manipulation itself just involves reasoning by default. You cannot really manipulate somebody without reasoning what would it be the most effective way to manipulate them. I mean you can, but why would you do that without like any form of reasoning when you can just reason your way to the conclusion, right? So
Okay. And so I think I forgot what Lala was saying, but I think he said that he's gonna post another video after this interview is completely done. Um, so are you prepared to listen to Lila talk for like probably like an hour?
mm, an hour, are you sure? He said it's 5 hours the last time I talked about him
Oh
talked
my
to him.
god. Okay.
Yeah, I will just split it into parts. I will play it on double speed. I will respond to it in parts
Yeah.
when I have the time, which is probably not next week because I have a lot of exams next week. So probably the other week I will start responding to it.
Okay. The chat is going crazy about ontology scaling. So you kind of want to talk about that?
Ontology.
Yeah. What's your opinion on ontology debating?
Of course, Amin asked that question.
Yeah.
Uh, what do you want me to say, Amin? Be honest. Do you want me to say that dimensionality is not ontology, or ontology doesn't equal dimensionality. That's better phrasing. Shit on it. Well, I think ontology scaling is mostly used to upscale your character to heights that your character wouldn't normally reach. But when you scale high tiers in SCD, I do think that ontology scaling applies to like general outsmarting. But I do agree that dimensionality doesn't equal ontology, if that's what you want me to say, Amin.
I think they just want you to like rant about it, like however you want to like shit on it or however you want to
I
like
don't know.
talk about it.
I don't really care about it. I mean, I don't scale high tiers, so like ontology scaling doesn't really concern me because people are not using it to debate low tiers or mid tiers unless they want a rat. And if they want a rat, I think it's really easily debunkable anyway. So
Yeah. So I don't really have any other questions when it comes to this. We can open it up to the floor currently. You guys can ask any questions that y'all would like.
wait. Ontology isn't restricted to high tiers. I'm inside. Of course, it's not restricted to high tiers, but when you want to debate low tiers, the ontology of a particular character, which means the essence of a character basically, will be exactly the same. So you don't need to use it to create arguments. And if you do, it's really debunkable. That was my entire point. Check podcast questions? Okay.
Okay. I didn't have that open. What's your favorite anime? I think we
Yeah.
talked about that originally.
Yeah.
Riru, who has the most potential to high tier in debating?
In this community,
I'd assume so.
I think you mean it's game. Yeah. Uh, Snow. I think Snow has the most potential to become a good debater if he actually tried.
What do you think about the current SED in terms of members, editing, and characters?
I don't really care about editing, so I will not answer that. I don't really care. About characters, I think it's really hard to introduce characters into SCD. Like, if you want to introduce a character into SCD, you either need to do a lot of work to do it, or you need to be somebody who is actually like well respected in the community already and kind of hook up more people in onto the scaling of a particular character in order to like familiarize whatever that word is like with the entire community. So I think it's kind of difficult. And about members, uh, I mean, same thing as usual, right? I mean, members are usually the same in SCD. Like the most core central members are the same, and the progress in SCD is really slow. Like SCD is, I don't want to say SCD is not getting better, but I want to say that SCD is getting better at a much slower rate than I would like it to be. So
Um, no, I'm not gonna answer. I'm not gonna ask that question. I'm in. Uh, Riru, what would you be doing if you weren't in philosophy or SED debater right now?
I don't know. Probably actually focusing on my actual problems, like studying for my exams, which yeah, I kind of neglect my school. Like, yeah, I'm in a university. I'm in the first semester, but I still get by. Like, I passed all of my exams. I don't really focus on it. Like, it's not my priority in a way, which is pretty funny, because my priority is actually no. Maybe it is my priority, but I still don't really learn that much. Like, I prefer actually having more free time than just learning and getting like the best grades possible.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I'm not gonna answer that question. I mean, I can't believe I scrolled up to that. Someone asked, which anime would you be in and why?
I'm literally Ayano Kochi. So, what do you want me to say about that? Like, how am I supposed to know which anime would I be in?
I don't know.
Who asked that question?
I don't know, man. Like,
What?
would you want to be in like Jujutsu Kaisen or something?
N- Oh, what? Oh, what anime would I want to be in? Not what
Yes.
anime would I be in? Okay, that was kind of a okay. Want to be in? Um, High School DxD. Don't ask me why.
Going back to podcast questions. I'm just gonna ignore the answer you just gave, by the way. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me scroll up. This is where I left off. What is your opinion on Lila's fabrication skills?
Of Lila's fabrication skills? I don't know them. Sorry, Lila. I cannot answer your questions about Lila.
All right. Poke versus Sprite. Who wins? I think this means in debating.
Obviously. I don't know. I've never seen Sprite debate, so I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know why everyone wants me to ask this question. I'm not gonna be answering that question, dude. Uh, you and Turdy versus Noism in a 2v1. This is probably like in a philosophy debate, but
Yeah. I don't think having a 2v1 matters to the like overall result. Like if we debated 1v1 and then have another 1v1, the result would be exactly the same as a 2v1. Like skills don't add up. They play an individualistic role in debating, right? So the result would not change. We would still lose.
mhm. I mean, I'm not gonna ask that question. You know which question I'm talking about, right, Ruru?
Yeah, obviously.
Did you wanna answer that question indirectly?
um, for educational purposes. No, I'm joking, by the way. Just so you know.
All right. Would you rather have infinite burgers but no games, or infinite games but no games?
Wait, what?
Would
Wait,
you
repeat that question?
would you rather have infinite burgers but no games, or infinite games but no games?
What does that even mean? What do you mean? N- n- Wait, what?
You have infinite games
What
but
do you
no
mean
games.
what do you mean infinite games but no games? What? I don't. By the way, I don't really. If you wanted to say infinite burgers, I don't really eat burgers, so I would prefer to have the games. Thank you.
No, essentials. Don't worry. You got. It's would you rather have infinite bacon but no games, or infinite games but no games? That was the original question, but
What
just answer the
would
question,
you?
Ruru. Would you rather have infinite burgers but no games, or infinite games but no games?
I literally don't know what that question means, so I will not be answering that.
Understandable. All right, they're pinging me here because I got pinged in the podcast. All right. If that's gonna be the last questions, we can have a bit more. What? He already said that he hasn't seen Sprite debate, guys.
Wait, I can answer that actually. Infinite sprites versus blind depth legless at Armus Apollo. I think Apollo wins. I don't need to see sprite away to know that.
Okay. Would you rather face Baku in gambling or Akagi in mahjong?
Uh,
If you lose you die, and if you win you get anything you want.
then that doesn't really matter. I would die either way. So, maybe just Baku, so I can like chill with him. He seems like a chill dude, and we can talk about life struggles and stuff like that. And then I would die in the end. Hmm. So, like, I would die either way, so it doesn't really matter.
Lila, I thought you wanted that to be the last question. I'm holding off till the last question. Uh, t- oh, you want it to be your last question. Okay. So if you're Lila, how would you use mainstream media to popularize SED?
What mainstream media? Like newspapers, or what are we talking about?
I think he means newspapers.
I wouldn't. I don't think we need to popularize SCD to that extent. I mean, you can do it if you want to. Sure, pop off. I just wouldn't do it personally. I don't have the time. I don't have the dedication. I don't think it's really even good for SCD.
All right. Ask if Jeff Bezos has $200 billion and there's 7 billion people in the world, he can give everyone a billion, and what would and will be left with seven. What? Okay,
What? What?
I think I'm just having a stroke reading that.
Where is it? Is it
In
podcast?
podcast questions, if Jeff Bezos has $200 billion and there are 7 billion people in the world, and he gives everyone a billion and be left, what? That's not a question though. I think he
Yeah,
means
that's not a
would he
question.
be left with 193 billion? I don't think he knows how math works, but would he be left with that much money?
So why doesn't he? Um, because people are selfish.
Okay,
She sells seashells at the
so
seashore. You're not tricking me, bitch.
Xavier, to answer your question on behalf of Riru, if there's 7 billion people and you gave 7 billion, or if you gave everyone $1 billion, I just want you to do that math real quick. It's gonna be over $1 trillion. Who is the worst SED debater currently? That's to your knowledge.
Um, uh, Poke. Sorry, Poke. Probably Poke. I mean, I don't know how the sprite debate, so I just have to. Wait, NXP. Yeah, that's right. NXP is worse. I forgot about him. NXP is way worse than Poke, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think Silver's here. I was about to say I have no idea what Amin's typing. Heads or tails? Heads if someone gives head. What? I'm not gonna answer that question, or ask Riri the question. But all right, last questions, guys. You may ask away right now. Okay. See. Oh, my bad. I didn't see that. Dude. Do you think C has much more aura in current SED if he returns, considering now everyone has got it much better since his absence?
Well, still think that people will think that he's the best debater. I'm not sure if he's the best debater currently, personally, but I think most majority of people in SCD will still think that he's the best debater anyway. So, probably. But I think if like when he returns, he will just not be as dominant debating wise. But uh, yeah, it's probably like nothing much is gonna change.
If you had to hit someone, if you had to hit a person in SED physically, who would you hit?
NXP, NXP.
If Rose, Turdies, and Snow jumped you, who would you lose?
Wait, Woo? Rose, Sturdy, and Woo?
And Snow,
Snow? No, I would win.
you would win.
Mm-hmm. Like you are basically like asking me if 30 and Snow would jump me, who would win? Because Rose is basically like Round down scales their level, so it actually makes it easier for me. Thank you, by the way, for that add-on. You just made the matchup easier for me.
Uh, Serviod versus Druxy.
Starboy versus Roxy?
Yeah.
I didn't read the debate, um, but yeah, I cannot really make conclusions actually when I didn't even really read the debate.
I'm not gonna ask that question, Essentials. Thoughts on Amin? Distract answers required.
uh, thoughts on a man? I will not do this track because I cannot sing or think that fast to even come up with a diss track. But thoughts on Amin? I think Amin is a really cute person. Um, yeah, he's just a really cutie patootie. That's all.
All right.
Yeah.
Uh, so I just want to say thank you, Riru, for being here. I think Riru can answer some of these questions on his own time if he feels like it. He already stated that he's a lazy person, so he might dodge most of these questions. But thank you,
Probably.
Riru, for being here. If I ever feel like wanting to debate, aka getting my ass handed to me, I'll definitely ask you for some help.
Okay. Sure.
But thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. I know y'all were just clowning on me this entire time because I do not know much about debating. But yeah, thank you all for being here. Yep.